feel like today when I looked at like my teacher, she has like national stuff every day. And today, National Mental Health Day.
It is Mental Health Day today. You're right.
And
Wow.
I tried and I was like,
It's really strange living in a world that is functioning differently than you are.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
good.
In a way, it
Oh,
feels kind of isolating, but it also,
Yeah.
yeah, feels totally different. Well, she just stepped out, but Genevieve, thank you so very much for your story. I just like, what?
She's just letting the dogs out.
just Uncle Matthew.
You just say, "Are you all done? You gonna sign off here, or what's happening, kiddo?"
Nothing.
All right, you go do that, and I'll finish talking to Casey.
Thank you,
I can see.
Genevieve. Thank you so much for chatting. What
Okay.
do you, what do you say? What do you say to that? I'm like gonna like start bawling. How do you
Like
just
I
sit there
love
and like
her.
listen to your daughter like just like blossoming in front of your face? It's incredible.
So this summer was it was beautiful because I got to spend more time with her because school was out. I got to actually watch her literally flourish. I took her with me everywhere, got to talk to all the people I'm talking to, and she got to tell her story to these people too. And it's such a beautiful thing to listen to her talk about it from this side of it now. Because when she was in the throes of it all, she didn't want to talk about it. We very much wanted to just like get through the day and hope that the next day might be better. Um, but she's processing it now and she's talking about it very honestly and openly out loud. And I see I see the ripples from it. It's a beautiful thing to watch her at 12 years old recognize that her body was not chemically imbalanced, that it was dysfunctioning, and we were able to pinpoint those dysfunctions with nutrition and nature and the things that we forgot we really make us human. And I love listening to her talk about it with the same kind of passion that I obviously talk about it with. She's definitely my mini me running around talking about these things right now. She's listening and she's listening well. All of my family is. They make me so proud.
It's just yeah. I'm running out of like objectives to like be able to say how incredible it is. So do you think can you tell like when she expresses what that was like for her? Does she tend to kind of open up a little bit more and more every time? Like, do you feel like it's pretty therapeutic for her to remember those things?
Yeah, because up until I want to say probably early this summer, she was still very much living in her own ketone high and enjoying all of the things. And it was very rare that she would start opening up and talking about these things. And anytime she started, I wanted to make sure I gave her that like open, safe space, like just let it all out, like let's process this. And we're very much we're appreciating how far we've come and breaking down those things, letting her understand that those things that were happening to her and those things that were coming out of her were not really her. Like I don't want her to ever identify with the diagnosis that she had either, because understanding that those symptoms were stemming from something that might not necessarily equate all these different diagnoses, right? It's like once you understand that all these symptoms might be coming from the exact same thing. It's like we're just checking boxes to come up with diagnoses. Let's get to that root cause. You weren't any of those things. You were just mitochondrial and metabolic dysfunction. You were not any of those diagnoses. And looking at it from that lens and helping her break down those rough times that she had is it's been a different perspective on those things have made it so much easier to process, I think. So
Yeah.
understanding it from a different lens. It real perspective is everything.
Yeah. And you said something interesting as she was bringing up like the heartbeat and wondering whether she was going to go manic again. And as you mentioned, like PTSD, like of course you would always think that would be just right around the corner if there was a slip up or something happened or what's going on. I remember all of this stuff for years before. That will take some time to kind of reverse out of.
Absolutely. She had some friends over here for her birthday and they were outside playing and she wanted to let them all see how loud she could shriek because they're singing and they're playing and stuff. And she let out this great big scream and my heart jumped into my throat because my body went back there. My husband looked at me, our eyes went right wide and we like both ran around the back side of the house. Like it's our reality of what life used to be creeps back in from time to time. And then it's just like, we're not there anymore. It's just like you have to like bring yourself back down. So if that's what my my husband's reaction is to something like that was literally an innocent child's play in the backyard that triggered that kind of response. I can only begin to imagine how her body feels when she starts to have these things revving up inside. And I know, like, from my own experience, because, like, as you know, I've used these therapies to treat myself for my own OCD and my PTSD and anxiety and stuff. Like, I've been dealing with the same kind of things. So that's been a blessing in itself, is that, yes, she's my little spawn and she ended up with all these things that I've also dealt with too. But it's like I've also got the knowledge and the know-how and the understanding of it on a different level than she might not have gotten from someone else if I wasn't her mom. Thank goodness I'm her mom, right? It's like you go through these processes of being like, well, I am her mom, like maybe this is my fault, to like, no, I am her mom. I can help her do this. It's like I've been there. Like you go from mom guilt to like mama bear pretty quick.
So empowering. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. So I had some questions from our last episode, and I was wondering what it was like, first of all, to try the different combinations of medicines. What, like, you're given, you see a doctor, you're given a medicine. In my opinion, that's probably like, okay, good, like found something here, like we can take a step. This must be nice. And like, what was it like to be given a prescription, to see it run its course? As Genevieve just told us, like, it would work maybe a little bit for a while and then it wouldn't, and then you're given like another one or you're switched, or like, what was that whole process like on the medication side?
It was a nightmare, to be honest, because it's like Russian roulette. Like you never know how your body's going to respond to these things. And I was aware of that going in from my own experience with different medications over the years. It's like now I'm looking at having to potentially put my child on something. That wasn't something that I took lightly, but I'm like, none of the things are working. Like I was trying all of the things. So you're going to your doctor and you're at your psychiatrist's office and you're talking these things through, and you're trusting that they're not trying to lead you astray. And I really don't feel that they were. I just feel like they, at this point, that they really didn't know any better. And I'm putting these things in her body and I'm watching her change. I'm watching the light go out in her eyes. I'm watching, it's at one point when we had put her on Adderall, she got violent. That was the first night she tore her room apart, like apart. And I've seen the way these medications act in her body. I've seen them take her to aggressive. I've seen her take I've these depressive episodes afterwards. I've seen everything in between. And it's like, what are these things doing to our bodies? And I've seen it myself. I had been put on bupropion at one point in time, started taking non-epileptic seizures, could not pinpoint what was going on. I was fully coherent, my body would be in convulsions. And it would be happening when I was having episodes of panic, or there'd be stress happening with dealing with the things here in our home. And I couldn't come back from it. It was terrifying and couldn't pinpoint it until I started doing some of my own research. And I found that this is a potential side effect. And I was like, well, I'm going to the pharmacist to find out how the heck I can get off of this. That's, I thought doing that. And she just recommended that I try half a dose, see how I feel. Get off. I was like, no, I just forget this. And I just stopped taking it. And I never had another episode like that since. So I've seen from my own perspective, I've seen from my child's perspective, and it's very frustrating because I'm not going to the medication in my own journey as first line of treatment. That was never what I've done. I do the therapy, I do the exercise, I do the walking. Like I used to be 100 pounds heavier than I am right now. And like I do the work. Like the medication was not a first line treatment for me. I wanted to do the work. So to try the medications and see what they were doing to me, it was not a fun journey because they were my last resort. They weren't my first choice, and they weren't working either. So what do you do then?
Yeah.
And that's
To have
where
that
that's where we ended up.
experience, to have
Yeah,
that experience and then see your child go through it, it must be torturous.
absolutely horrendous. And even my son, at one point, he was medicated as well for anxiety in the same situation. He didn't enjoy being on the medication. He didn't enjoy the way it made him feel. He had tried medication for his ADHD and he didn't like it. He is also benefiting very much from our own version of keto and carnivore.
Amazing. Wow. Okay, one more moment from, and if the listener wants to go back and listen to 837 episode. 837 was really good. That has the full story. I'm jumping around a lot, not really chronological. The other moment that really stood out to me was the moment that they told you there's nothing else we can do. Let's take a break from this. I don't know. That's got to be like, wait, what? Are
He
you
was
giving up on me?
great.
Like,
She's 11 years old and you're telling me you don't know what you're going to do with her. And that was infuriating as a parent because this is the brain we're talking about. It's terrifying. We can't see this. It's not like a broken bone where you can set it, cast it, gets better. This is something that nobody has ever really known or given me any kind of insight when I've been posing the questions over my own course of treatment for 20 years. What's causing all of this? I've asked my doctors those questions. Like, well, how come I'm doing all the work and I'm still not feeling any better? How come I did this and now I'm still like this? It's like, why, when you're doing everything right, is everything still going wrong?